Hello, Worth Workers. Welcome back to the Trust Your Worth podcast, the podcast that helps you tap in to the power of knowing your worth. My name is Brittany, and I'm so grateful to be here with you today. Last week, we talked about trying to get past the small talk. So I hope your worth work went well and that you were able to make stronger connections with people around you, or if you are meeting new people, creating new connections that are exciting and strong. If you didn't listen to that episode, please go check it out. It's episode 43. Today's episode is about likability. These are tips that will help you communicate to others that you are friendly, that you are warm, and that you are charismatic and likable. And this has nothing to do with your worth, because your worth never changes. You are worthy. This is to help you communicate your ideas to others in a way that will help you be able to create connections, to create deeper connections, because you may have $1 million idea, but if you can't communicate to others how great that idea is, you're going to get nowhere with it. So this is to help you be able to have the tools you need to express to the world who you are and what you're offering. Okay, so let's get into it. The guru I am taking these lessons from, her name is Vanessa Van Edwards, and I'm going to link a couple things in today's show notes, so please go check out what she is offering, because there are so many tools we could get into, and she's literally made a career out of helping people overcome their awkwardness, because like I said, this is about communication, because if you can't communicate your ideas, then it's harder for you to be successful. So these are tools that are going to help you. So I'm just going to touch on a few today because, again, there's so many we can go into. But the example she gives is, I forget his name, but there's a man who went onto Shark Tank and he had the $1 million idea. And the idea was for the Ring doorbell. And these doorbells are now everywhere. I have a Blink one based on his design, and literally $1 million idea. But he went to the Shark Tank and he did not leave with a deal. And it was because the sharks there that were listening to his idea just didn't like him as a person. He just came across as really unlikable. He knew the numbers. He could answer every question, but they didn't buy into him as a person, as someone they would like to work with. So he left the tank without a deal, which is crazy because they missed $1 million opportunity just because they didn't like the guy. So, and that has nothing to do with his worth. He literally is now, I'm sure, a billionaire, at least a millionaire. I haven't done the research, but there were things that he did that were just so off-putting. And so I don't want to focus on the things that he did wrong, but the importance of these tools are that communicating with others is just an important part of life. If you don't know how to communicate your ideas to others, you will be at a severe disadvantage. So I hope that you recognize the importance of the principles she's teaching here. Okay, so I'm going to start with nonverbal ones. Okay, when you notice someone for the first time, most people believe that they notice their eyes or their face or something in that area when you meet someone or you're looking at someone. But actually, the first thing that people look for are their hands. So this goes back to the caveman days, into our fight or flight, that you checked other people's hands to see if they were carrying a weapon or something safe, which is why inherently we look at people's hands. So if you were to look at someone and you couldn't see their hands were behind their back, and they were talking to you, it would make you super uncomfortable. And the longer they kept their hands behind their back, you would get even more nervous because you're like, oh my gosh, what are they doing with their hands back there? They're getting ready to attack me? I don't know. So knowing what's in people's hands are very important. So hand gestures and communication are really important. So if you want to come across as friendly, then you immediately show your palms, because you open your hand, palms facing everybody. That's why we wave, to show, hey, I'm a friend. I'm waving. I'm not going to hurt you. So if you want to be likable and memorable, just wave to everybody. Just as immediately when you walk into your room, hands up, one hand up, wide open. Hi, how are ya? Also, if you're meeting people for the first time, especially in business settings, move towards the person with your hand, like do the wave, and then put your hand out in front of you for a handshake. Make it explicitly clear that you want a handshake, because it takes the stress and anxiety for people who are meeting you. How are they supposed to greet you? Because if your hands are out and they're not a hugger, like they don't want to hug you, and you're wanting to come in for the hug, like they don't know what to do. So so then you get that awkward, do we shake? Do we not? No. So just take the anxiety out of the situation and just start walking towards people with your hand outstretched, and you can greet people with a handshake. I would use that for business settings. You can use it in other situations, or if you do like hugs, like not everybody's a hugger. So maybe always start the first meeting with a handshake, and then as you get to know people better, move into the hugs. But I would just do that to be safe. So these two things are going to help you immediately put people at ease. The one thing that Vanessa actually studies that I think is so great is that emotions are contagious. They're catching. She literally stood outside to see if nonverbal communication cues were contagious as well. So she stood outside with her looking up. All she did was stand there and start looking up. And people who were walking by her, almost every single one of them looked to see what she was looking at. They looked up to see, what the heck is that girl looking at? And some of them stood there next to her for several minutes and looked up and just stared up at the sky with her. They were looking at nothing. And she said that one woman nudged her and said, which is so crazy to me, because again, they're looking at nothing. She said, do you think he's going to jump? There was no one there. So what she learned from that is that people create their own narratives for themselves. That also nonverbal cues are very powerful and are contagious, just as emotions are. Another example she gave was with the telephone. We can hear when somebody is actually happy. The happiness feeling is contagious, but so is fear. So if you see someone have a fear reaction, so their eyebrows go up and they go back, inhale breath, they react in fear because of safety. You also are like, oh my gosh, where's the danger? You immediately react. So what's so cool is that though emotions are contagious, we can decide what to do with them. We can decide how we react to them. So our body is going to automatically react to these things, but then it's just information that we can interpret and decide if we want to keep. So just as fear is contagious, so is happiness. So if we want to come across as more likable, then we need to spread happiness. We need to inherently feel happiness. And you can tell when someone's being fake. Like, you can tell when someone fake smiles at you. It's usually only in their lips. The real smile, like an authentic smile, reaches up into the eyes. So the cheek muscles come up and your eyes sort of squint. It's very apparent when you look at my smile. If you're looking at your phone right now and you see my picture, my eyes get really small. It looks like I'm closing my eyes, but I promise you they're open. But that is my real smile. You can see it in my eyes. And most times when I take pictures, I literally laugh. So my smile is real in pictures because I like my smile and I do want to convey the emotion of happiness to others. That's why like it's hard to work with others who are just Debbie Downers or just like who are just like complain a lot. Complainers drive me nuts. Like, oh, it was so crazy to get to work today. Like, and then I lost my phone, and then I'm just like, well, like, oh my gosh! Immediately, I can't handle that at 9 o'clock in the morning. I can't handle your bad mood because it's gonna ruin my day. Because genuinely, emotions are contagious. So just try to start to come when you're going into rooms, when you're meeting new people, try and start from a place of happiness. Like think a happy thought before you enter a room. And I know meeting people can be an anxiety provoking situation, especially when there are stakes involved, as in like, I have to go to this networking business meeting and I'm nervous. But you know what's so cool is that your mindset makes the difference. So Vanessa did a study. She had people come into a room and sing the song Don't Stop Believin'. And they had no warning. So they just had to sing it and they were looking for accuracy. So getting it word for word and if they could match the pitch right. So there was a control group. They weren't told anything. They're just like, please sing this song. Don't stop believing, blah, blah. They go sing it. And then one group was told to say, I'm nervous before singing the song. And then the other group was told they had to say before the song, I'm excited. Okay, so the results were the control group got 69% accuracy. The I'm nervous group did worse. They got 53% accuracy. And the I'm excited group, they got 80% accuracy. That's a huge difference. That's almost a 30% difference from the I'm nervous, I'm excited. This is such a perfect example of self-fulfilling prophecy. So the person's belief or expectation causes the prediction to come true. So if you believe it, if you think it, it's like manifestation. You'll create it into being. So if you immediately think, oh, I'm nervous, or I'm like, oh, I'm going to have a bad day, you're probably going to have a bad day. Because you decided already that you were going to. But if you decide it's a great day to have a good day, or it's a good day to have a good day. I used to tell myself that all the time, especially in my like depressive episodes, just to try and help negate the depression. And sometimes it helped and sometimes it didn't. But like your words have power. What you tell yourself has power. And I just hope that when you go into new situations, go into it with excitement. That fear and excitement are so close physiologically that your body can almost barely tell the difference. But it's you and your mindset that makes a difference. And that's what's so exciting about this tool, is that if you are about to go meet new people, say, I'm excited to go meet these people, and watch how everything about you changes. You're going to walk into that room with more confidence. You're going to be excited to find someone there, like, because you believed it, you manifested it, it's going to happen. me and my bestie, we talk about this all the time. The lucky girl syndrome, because I kid you not, when I'm with her and we're looking for a parking spot, like we always get one up front. Every time she's like, oh, lucky girl. And I'm like, lucky girl strikes again. And I'm just like, every time. But I've just begun to believe in it, that we really are such lucky girls. And it's so exciting that we really can create our own luck. Okay, so in summary, things to help you be more likable, non-verbally, show your palms. Make hand gestures. You're going to come across as more likable. Wave hello to everyone. Instantly going to be more likable. Get that hand out. Make it clear. Communicate clearly with your hand that you want to shake people's hands when you meet them. And they're going to remember you. Okay, and then tell yourself you're excited. Remember to say that you are excited. Another concept that Vanessa talks about is warmth and competence. That people will believe you're charismatic if you're warm, you're likable, you're trustworthy, and if you're competent, and so meaning you're reliable, you get the job done. So a lot of smart people fall into the competent category where they can tell you all the numbers, they can tell you how everything works, exactly how it's going to work, and it's going to be successful, but people just can't stand them. They find them annoying. They find them almost arrogant or narcissistic because they have no warmth. They didn't come across as likable at all in any way. And then you have people on the other side who are just so warm, you're so friendly. So they're like, hi, oh my gosh, it's so nice to meet you. I'm a hugger. Like, oh my gosh, let's be the bestest of friends. And they're just signaling to you, like, I'm so likable, I'm so friendly. But they also come across as incompetent. So they come across as unmemorable, or people interrupt those type of people because they don't deem them as worthy to be competent enough to be in the conversation, or they write them off. They think they're ditzy and they're not smart because they are signaling just pure warmth. So very likable, fun time, but like I could never trust them to do anything. So if you want to be charismatic, you have to find the proper balance between these two things. So if you feel like you're super warm, if you're like, oh my gosh, bubbly, dial it back a little bit. Doesn't mean be inauthentic. So like for myself, I'm likable and I'm competent, but I lean towards the warmth side. Like I turn up the warmth side when I meet new people because I want people to feel safe and trustworthy. So here are some things you can do to turn up the warmth or turn up the competency. Okay, so some things you can do to turn up your competence cues. There's a hand gesture studied by science. It's literally, you make it's called a steeple. So you put your fingers together almost in a triangle and you just rest them in front of you. So make a triangle with touch your pointers and your thumbs and then touch all the rest of your fingers. And so they're pointing up and just, sort of rest them in front of you and sit up straight. Your posture is huge in showing competence. If you're slouching, if you're bent in, if your shoulders are slouched in any way, people automatically are going to think something's wrong. Like you look sad and you look nervous. And if you open up your shoulders, so pull them back, I'm doing it right now. The distance between your earlobe and your shoulder, so where your neck is exposed, if that is long and extended, it creates power. Because if you think about olden days, like you're exposing your neck to people, that's a very vulnerable place, because you can get killed very easily that way. But it shows that you're confident and you're powerful. Just think of exposing your neck to people and sitting up straight, and you'll automatically be seen as more powerful. But if you need to turn up the warmth in your body language, a slight tilt and leaning slightly forward it gives a posture of listening, that you're paying attention, that just like, hey, I'm safe. I'm a listening ear. So you're going to put people at ease if you have a slight tilt, and also if you smile with your eyes. So there is such thing as a resting, she calls it bothered face, and we'll call it the RBF, and if you happen to have that, it can cause a disadvantage for you. So when you're at home and just looking in the mirror, see how your relaxed face, your not thinking face, whatever, looks to others. Because if your lips are downturned, just genetically, people will think you're mad. So if that is the case, you may have to practice just looking more pleasant, just having a slight upturn to your lips, or like keeping it in the eyes. So people can tell when you're inauthentic. Try your best to have it come from an authentic place. And these are things you can practice. Like the steeple gesture, power move, sitting move is so uncomfortable for me. I'll probably never use it. But when I do want to show more competence, I will sit up straight. Hopefully these tips are helpful, and I hope you can recognize which side of the spectrum you fall on in warmth or competence, and maybe make small little changes to see how others react to you, to see how others read your cues. Because isn't it crazy? My mother taught me this forever ago, but she said, you teach people how to treat you. So if you want people to treat you differently, you have to change your own behavior. And these slight little changes can just be so much more fun and exciting. I think I'm a pretty likable person, but I've started to add in the wave. I never used to wave at people, but I can tell it's made a difference even at work. When I wave, people don't necessarily wave back, but I can tell that they feel acknowledged, and they always say hello back. But it is nice to have that little moment of connection at work. And my days at work have gone way better because I feel connected to the people I'm working with. Okay, your work this week is to pick something in this episode to apply into your daily life, whether that be waving hello to everyone, whether that be saying I'm excited, whether that's telling yourself I'm excited before you go into a new situation, or you want to have more competence, so you're going to practice sitting up straight when you talk to people or when you're listening. So whatever you choose, I hope that it helps you communicate likability, and so that you can create connections that you want to create, because you can do it. And I'm so excited for you to show people how amazing you are, because maybe the tool you were missing was just communicating that you're the amazing person that you are. And you are so worthy. None of this has to do with your worth. Just remember that. It's just these tools might be helpful in helping you communicate your amazing ideas to the world. So I hope that helps you. Please check out everything in the show notes that I've linked. Seriously, there's so much good information. I will probably do another episode on this. And I want to hear how it's going. So you can find me at Trust Your Worth Podcast on Instagram, or as always at trustyourworth.com. If no one has told you today, you are an amazing person that is worth getting to know. And I hope that you know how awesome you are. And don't forget to trust your worth. Okay, thank you so much for listening, and have a great day. Okay, love you. Bye.